Okay, this is 10.1 and we're talking about translations. So hopefully you've watched the first video, the introduction, the getting started, which talks about all of the transformations that you're going to do in this chapter. It's a great introduction, so please watch it before you even start 10.1 or any other part of chapter 10. So we're going to talk about translations first. Okay, what is a translation? Well, when you circle the correct word or phrase to complete each sentence. When you translate a shape, you see if you can remember what it is from the video. You slide, flip it, or turn it. Well, a translation means to slide. Flip it means to reflect it, and turn it means to rotate it. We don't want to do those. So when you translate a shape, the image will face the same way as or a different way from the original shape. Well, when you translate a shape, it always faces the same way as, okay? Because we're not flipping it or turning it, we're just sliding it. If you can see over here, by definition, translation, the result of sliding a 2D shape along a straight line on a grid. You can translate a shape right, left, up, or down. Okay, so Cassie is drawing a plan for a bench-shaped planter she wants to build in a wood shop. She drew one end on a grid and wants to translate it 8 units to the right and 4 units up to draw the other end. What will Cassie's picture look like? Okay, so first off, what are the coordinates of point A? We have to pick a point. So we're going to go along the x-axis, and we know that it's -8. And then we read the y-axis up here, and it's +1. Okay, so that's the coordinate of point A. Translate point A 8 units to the right and 4 units up. Label the new points A prime. Read this as A prime. Okay, that's what that little tick there means. What are the coordinates of A prime? Well, we're going to slide it 8 units to the right, so we're starting at -8. We're going to go 8 units that way. That's going to bring it to right there, and then we're going to go 4 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our new point is going to be right there, and that's going to read A prime. What are its coordinates? Well, its coordinates are 0, x is 0, and y is +5. Okay. Translate points B, C, D, E, and F in the same way you translated point A. Okay, so we're going to go for F, we're going to go 8 units here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, or up 4, I mean, right there. There's F prime, and you can do that for every point, okay? So go ahead and do that, and then we can label them. B prime, C prime, D prime, E prime, and then just connect the dots. Here, use your ruler. I don't have a ruler with me. Hard to use a ruler with this program. Okay, there's a rough drawing of it, but there is the translated object. Translate, okay, so how does each coordinate change when you translate a point 8 units to the right and 4 units up? For the x coordinate, it gets larger by 8 units, okay, because we're going from a negative number over here to the right. We're increasing, okay, to positive. We're increasing by 8. And the y coordinate, it also gets larger because we're going up. It gets larger by 4. Okay, so it says finish the drawing using a ruler. What do you drawing the corresponding points in? What do you notice about the connecting lines? Okay, what do you notice about the connecting lines? Well, it's the same image. It's exactly the same image, just translated. Translated. Okay. Let's go on to the next page. Example, what translation rule did Jamal use? Okay, so here is A, and here is A prime. So all we need to do is pick one point right here and find out when it moved from A to A prime, what was the translation? Well, it looked like it moved 1, 2, 3 units down and 1, 2 across. Okay, so we'll start with the x coordinate. It moved 1, 2 units Let's see if there's a place for us to write it, or if we have to write it underneath. Okay, well, we'll write it underneath here. Solution, counting grid squares. Jamal translated vertex A to vertex A prime. What two directions did he slide? Well, he slid to the left and he slid down. Okay, so he slid to the left and then he slid down. Okay, how many units did he slide in each direction? Well, he slid 2 units to the left because he started at -3 and he ends up at -5, so that's 2 units left. 2 units left. And how many units did he go down? He went from 3 down to 0, so that's 3 units down. And 3 units down. What happened to vertices B, C, D, and D with Jamal's translation? Well, they did the same thing. The same. Okay. Solution 2, you can use coordinates. Choose any vertex A, B, C, or D. Write the coordinates. Okay, well, let's choose A, and that is -3 and +3. So we'll choose A, which is -3 and +3. What are the coordinates of the corresponding vertexes of A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime? Okay, well, A prime is x is -5 and y is 0. X is -5 and y is 0. We'll just do the 1. We won't do B, C, and D. We'll just do A prime. Okay? You can do B, C, and D. How did the x coordinate change? Well, it went from -3 to -5, so it decreased by 2 units. Okay? Because when you're going to the left, you're decreasing. Even though the number 5 is larger than the number 3, -3 is still a larger number than -5. So you have to remember your number line from elementary school. Okay, so you decreased by 2. And how did the y coordinate change? Well, it started at 3, went to 0. It went down, it decreased by 3. Okay? How can you use these changes to write Jamal's rule? Well, you can just plot all the vertices down using the rule without drawing it. Some people like to draw it. I like to draw it without drawing it. Some students just like to have the numbers written down, but because I'm a visual learner and I like to see what I'm doing, when I'm translating, rotating, or any object, I like to draw it on a grid, and I like to make sure I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and probably most of you are going to be like that. Okay, so that's the end of this unit. Go ahead and do the practice.